American people want to see a world in which there's freedom, fair trade, security for our nation, for our allies, and we're going to continue to move forward and protect that way of life every way possible.
Some of the bills are related to like outbound investment or the de minimis bills that the committee has been working on. Is that something that Congress will continue to push forward?
We do. We continue to work on those bills. This week we're devoted to I think 24 bills that the committee has worked together with the different authorizing committees, and we're going to continue every week working on legislation. This week we've devoted to looking at this relationship with the strategic competition with the Chinese Communist Party, but we're going to continue to work on this because the threat isn't going away, and it's important that we adapt our policies to the current situation.
I know my Republican colleagues came up with the Week of China, and I don't know if what they've done is what wouldn't have been done that way if we were in charge. I do think that there are certain messages that to say to China that we're not going to take and deal with certain things that involve our national security. And we're going to stand up and hold them accountable when they violate some issues that are about national security, when they try to, steal intellectual property, when they are prying into the privacy of American citizens. Those are things that we need to speak out about. At the same time, I think it's appropriate that we have a dialogue with China. There's a lot of things that we've got to work together on. And I would hope that through that dialogue, better relations could come about. But it takes two to tango. And it just seems as though that on the Chinese side, when you look at President Xi and the directions in which they're moving in and some things that they've done, it compels a reaction from the United States.
Well, I think there's a lot we can do, certainly just in the strict spirit of reciprocity. Whatever's good for China is good for America. Whatever's good for America is good for China. But they can't have a one-sided deal where they get to openly trade and violate the rules of our stock market, or we can't operate on their stock market. They can't openly say that we can't buy land in China, yet they're buying land in the United States of America. So I think that's the place we ought to be, and starting where we are is a good start, but we've got a long way to go in looking at every single level and every single operation, every single opportunity to stop a malign China from prevailing on the United States is what we need to be doing. And I think this week is kind of sending the message that's our intention.
The Republicans are trying to outdo one another in being so-called tough on China. But what I am very worried about is the effect on Chinese Americans here in the United States. The China Initiative was started by Trump, and what they did was target innocent scientists and scholars, arrested them, got them fired from their jobs, and put them into huge debt due to legal fees. And then, in the end, most of them were found totally innocent of these charges. This has to do with the civil rights of Chinese Americans in this country. And these Republicans don't care a bit about the harm that they are creating with their xenophobic rhetoric. So we think that American secrets need to be guarded, but if there's an investigation, it should be done based on criminal evidence and not on race or ethnicity. Right now, or what they did during the China Initiative was just take somebody who had some nexus to China, meaning that they were born in China or they had relatives in China, and then they went and investigated them.
Well, the message to Beijing is we're not going to put up with their interference in U.S. Internal politics, civil society, agriculture, biosphere. So we sent several messages today, this week, and I think basically that is what you should take from this. We are now focused on the fact that China intends to be the sole superpower in this world, and we're going to stand in their way.